Look like they doing
I'm
good,
doing
man. It
amazing.
was a good day,
Oh, it was a chill day
especially
for me.
weather-wise. Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah.
that's good to hear, man. Yeah, you've been up to some things since we last seen you on the show, since we last talked to you. Fill us in.
So, if y'all haven't known by now, well, let me start off who I am, because for
Hmm.
you people that don't know who
The
I
new
am out
people,
there,
yeah.
new people, yes, I always love the new fans, but I go by the name
Mhm.
King Luche, all the way Columbus, Ohio, a poet, a author of a book called Infatuated Desires. It is a collection of erotic poetry and haikus. They are available
Hey,
on Amazon. I do have local copies, so if you want to reach out to me, definitely reach out to me. You can follow me on all social media, King Luche. That's KingLuche. I am also the self-proclaimed dip god. So if you like buffalo chicken, rotel, Philly cheesesteak, any type of chips and dip, I am your guy. And if you like to, get right with get right, I can also infuse it too. So follow me there at THEDIPGOD, the Dip God.
hey,
So
that's an introduction right there, brother.
yes, it was. I've been working on that a little bit. I've definitely been working on it. But
And you gonna be at the Burn One Fest on 420.
yeah, I just shout out
Yeah.
to curator and also Russ, putting together this event. This will be the first time that the Dip God returns to a Columbus pop-up shop in over a year. So
Ooh, okay.
it's kind of it doesn't feel like it's been a year, but it facts it
Yeah.
really has been over a year. That
Time fly when you're having fun.
yes, it does. But as most of my clients will say, they'll tell you that the dip is fire. So if you haven't
Mhm.
had a taste of what the dip god offers, I would highly encourage y'all check us out. 420 Wild Goose Creative from I believe 2 p.m. 2 a.m. Um,
Yes,
you
sir. All
know,
day.
we there all day though, so enjoy and celebrate with us. So
I say so. Back to you were telling them what you've been up to, the trips, Philly, poetry, the awards. Fill them in.
listen, I don't know about y'all, but I'm just a little under the radar. I'm just gonna claim that a little bit. But so yeah, it's been it's been a wild 2023 and then the start of 2024, right?
Hmm.
So we'll just start back in 2023 because there's a lot to cover. So what I decided to do at the start of 2023 was I wanted to initially this started off as a birthday trip in a sense. So
Hmm.
back in mid February, it was around the Super Bowl where we ain't gonna talk about that team that beat us, but I didn't fly out, but I drove to Philly that week. Did a whole bunch of poetry, just wanted to see what the scene was like. Never really been to any of these open mics, and I just wanted to figure out, where's the Philly, poetry scene at. So
Hmm.
as as the year went on, I'll end up traveling a lot more to Philly. I've been to Jersey, did an open mic out there, been to Baltimore, DC. However, though, unfortunately, last July was nice, but not too nice, right?
Hmm.
So the week I went out there, I did, Voices and Power, did Funky Verbs, did a bunch of, cool different open mics. But the night of July 21st, unfortunately, I was a victim of a hit and run, meaning
Damn.
I got struck by a motorcycle. Did not see that shit coming. Didn't even know I blacked out. All I know was I woke up in an ambulance, confused as fuck. And, my people was like, yeah, you got, hit by a motorcycle. Crazy thing is, dude fell off the bike and got back on and ran. So
Wow.
it was a troubling 2 months of recovery.
Hmm.
Thankfully, I didn't have to get surgery. So that was
Okay, that's
the
good.
most important thing that I was concerned about. But ironically, it couldn't have timed it at a better time, right? So in September of 2023, I was getting ready to go out to Houston for this Deadly Pens poetry retreat. Shout out to, Mr. Reality, who is the head of the Deadly Pens collective. So I know three of them personally in Philly, and I got to meet a lot of other talented pens, whether it be from Houston, New York. I think I don't know if there's one that came from overseas. There might have been, or like it was a great experience, right? So I literally healed from the accident the week before leaving for the actual retreat because one, I spent way too much money on this retreat and I was not about to waste money. So you will put me in a brace, I will have crutches, but guess what? I bet you I get on that plane. Right. You're not about to stop me from wasting all this money. And what turned out to be, like I said, a phenomenal time. Just poetry, fellowship.
Was that the Right About Now trip?
Yeah, Right About Now. Oh my God.
Shout out Right About Now. One of my favorite events ever. That and Tiny Desk. Those is my top two. Because when I first seen Right About Now, I got backyard vibes, and then I seen the lights and I seen the crowd, and I was like, I want to do something like this.
Yeah. So mind you, Right About Now, right? They actually have two separate open mics they do on 2 different days. The one that's outside, they do on Wednesdays. So the first night of the poetry retreat, that's when we did Right About Now. Like I said, outdoor patio, the vibes, like it was everything I could imagine, right? So I get up on the stage, as Mr. Reality was introduced to me and all that. And he kind of hinted in a sense, maybe down the line, who knows, I could be called one of those deadly pens. But, that's the joy of poetry is that, you're writing to get better each and every day, always challenging yourself to, improve your pen. So that meant a lot, though. I get up there. So I say, of course, a nasty poem. However, shout out to my homegirl, Lady Siren. Amazing. Fire deadly pen as well. So she gave me a prompt that I did a poem. It was sometime last year. I can't remember exactly when, but I basically did the universally tasteful, aka the rocket ship nasty poem that my guy Yogi likes too. That's one of his favorite poems. Shout out to him. But what they do, which is a show called Pour Your Art Out. But at the end of every show, typically what Lady Siren does is she'll listen to all the different poems, write down notes, and then she gives us prompts at the end. So it's like based on what was her like favorite. It'll be like anywhere from maybe 3 to 4 or something like that. So one of my poems got chosen as one of the prompts, and the title and the prompt was just said, "Let me sit this poem on your lips." I said,
"Hey, that's hard."
I was like, "What?"
I would eat that poem up.
You can do your version and whatnot, but I was like, you know what? I tried my best to not go nasty, right? But you have to help it.
You have to.
You can't help it though. That's the
thing. You have to. It fits like a puzzle.
It does, and I made it work. And people were just like, "Oh my God, like what?" And then, of course, throughout the poem, there's outside of inspiration from Lady Siren. Of course, shout out to my guy Ken Jones comedy as well. Of course, I had to incorporate a couple of things because I'll always support his shows and also rock his clothing called Stress Away apparel. Okay. So shout out to one of the lines is, "Let me sit this poem on your lips. Leave your mouth drooling, craving these words you want to lick. However, before she get ready to suck my stress away," that means you have to buy the shirt. So you wouldn't and understand and know, where those lines are coming from. But yeah,
that's hard.
It definitely is though. And then, like I said, 2023 has been good to me. Overall, traveling wise. I also got in November, which November is kind of like my big return in a sense from the accident, right? So coming back in November to do, I did detail poetry. Shout out to the team. They're at detail. They're an amazing vibe. During the daytime as well. So it's like it's brunch vibes. Like that's literally how it is right there. But the one show I did have a lot of fun was in DC. That's called Trap Poetry.
Shout
It's
out
hosted by my
DC.
guy Matt Capone.
Okay.
Definitely shout out to him and the manager as well. So he's actually one of the nominated poets for Voice and Power for the viral poet. The only difference is the viral poet, their votes are based on views across all platforms. That's how they're going to decide the winner. Like the remaining other categories, you can vote through the link that's in my bio and everything on all social media. But
okay,
the viral one is based on views, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
What's up, fam? Nefertiti.
But like I said, we back though in this shit. Oh shit.
I like that, bro. I like that you travel around and practice your craft. This is something I want more poets to express. I want poets to express with people how difficult it is performing in front of new people. Especially pieces that you ain't 100% confident on, the ones you working on, and how much practice it takes to get used to that. Mm-hmm. Like in the beginning, for me, I would notice every person in the room. Yeah. And as I start doing it more throughout the years, I just start focusing on the piece. And it felt like it was just me.
But the great thing about traveling, right? Because you're going to a city, and 9 times out of 10, you're not going to know any motherfucker in that room. So you can literally hit them with one of your classic old pieces, but it's new to them. So literally, a lot of the times when I'm performing in Philly, primarily I'll do poems. Like they've heard enough poems for me, right? Like I've been going once a year since 2015, even though I didn't start performing poetry till 2018. So like I said, I knew nothing about the Philly creative scene until 2020 when the pandemic started. So that's why I said I got still homies that I, link up with from 4 years ago, from the night I went to Uptown. But the rest of the poets I didn't meet until literally 2022 and after. So that's literally how I found, the actual poetry community. But like I said, I'll do poems. I've done new poems. I've done my classic erotic pieces. Some of them know my classic erotic pieces. But yeah, I still work on new poems. But also what's even great, at least for me personally, is meeting, other peers within the community that also offer tips and guidance to help my pen sharper. So literally two of the deadly pens, like I said, Yogi Bars, shout out to him as well. It goes by Nick Austin Poetry. So they've been very helpful in giving me different tips and whatnot to like what I could add to my poetry game. But like I said, I'm still a student.
Yeah, always.
Like, I'm always going to be a student.
Yeah, because you love what you do.
Yes, I absolutely love everything about this poetry shit. But I will say this though. Let's get into the awards part. So yes, your boy King Luche is nominated at Voices and Power presents Poets Gonna Poet Awards show. I am nominated for the most supportive poet alongside my two other nominated buddies. Shout out to Jay Rose and also Sir Dominique Jordan. So we are
congratulations, man.
3 nominees. Mind you, this was 8,000 votes, sir. Like I was not expecting so many votes, and y'all got enough to get me in the top 3. That is wild. Like I get how many followers Voice and Power has over all social media platforms, but like 8,000 is still a lot to me. And then
that's a whole lot, bro.
And then on top of that, I think they said within 3 days from when voting opened, there was already over 4,000 votes. So we're literally about to get more than that, probably by the end of Thursday, or because it ends this Thursday at noon. But I'm like, whew. And I got to do my job. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I'm about to just start texting random people the link, like, just go vote. Yes. And if you need help on who to vote for, pick with your heart. like I can give you my suggestions on who I voted, but at the same time, you don't have to go and vote those suggestions. Those are just suggestions, you know, that I'm offered to you. However, I would encourage you just, you know, vote for me for the most supportive vote because I've proven that. I've proven that over the years. And Philly, you know, my peoples that I, you know, go there, they know what I'm about. So, but like I said, it's going to be a wonderful night. It does take place April 25th, which is on a Thursday. Oh, and you want to know who's headlining, right?
Yes, of course.
This motherfucker AJ McQueen, man. Like, bro.
Okay.
When I tell you, and if you don't know about his music, I encourage y'all to go and stream it. So,
Yeah.
you know, recently dropped an album called Sorry Ma, I Was Distracted. Literally talks about it's literally his whole life. Like he's just letting us into his, you know, basically his world in a sense. So, and from what I've read, of course, you know, he gets his inspirations, or some may compare him. I wouldn't say compare, but maybe he draws inspirations from somebody like Tupac or Nipsey, and maybe people are kind of giving that sense like maybe it's this, you know, current generation type thing. But bro, like I just started following him. I only see for like a few months. Like initially, I didn't even know who he was, but then you know how Instagram has those suggested like reels. I think he came up, and it was this track that he's playing called "Same," which talks about Black love. I was like, okay. I was like, I'm digging this vibe right now. So I was like, let me just go ahead and, you know, search, listen to music. I'm like, okay, I could definitely, you know, fuck with this, right?
Yeah,
So
you talking about Black Love? I'm in.
Yeah, I was about to say definitely had to follow him. But he also has an interview on YouTube where the dude that was interviewing like 3 different parts. He basically interviews the entire album, but he pretty much opens up himself in terms of what each track is about. And like honestly, for all guys, like especially you know, I would highly encourage watching it. Like I felt a lot of things, you know, especially for somebody as a black man like him to open up and just be vulnerable, you know, and also be authentic in himself. I'm like, that's the reason why I kind of gravitate towards those type of music. But yeah, like I said, April 25th.
So that makes me think too, and I ask, what do you notice that's changed about your poetry, your writing, since you started to recently? What are some things you noticed that have evolved?
Well, let's see. What has changed?
Because I can give you some things I noticed. Definitely delivery.
Well, one, I am working on my performances. So certain poems that I've written, like what I've been studying, and that, like I said, I have a poem about me and being addicted to poetry, right? So it's called Hooked on Poetics. The poem came about because I was inspired by my guy, the Poet Bull. Shout outs to the Poet Bull, the host of Voice and Power. He did a poem while I was there in Philly called The Love Drug. And basically his performance, he was basically acting as if he was like a fiend, like an actual like drug fiend, but just the way, you know, his theatrics and just everything that was getting across. So that's something that I've been working to incorporate a little bit in some of my poetry. So, because I definitely want to, you know, do that a little bit more. Not, of course, not all poems are going to require that, right? But for example, the one I did, Hooked on Poetics, and I actually did this during my birthday tour. Like I was pretty much like had my hands shaking and whatnot, like I was a fiend, like pretty much twitching and all that. And then just, you know, I'm loud, so I'm going to project, you know, say I and whatnot, Hooked on Poetics and all that. But I'm definitely going to work on that a little bit more. It was good, like for what it's worth. You know, I still got the piece freshly memorized and all that, but I know I could do better in terms of bringing that performance alive and everything. But I would say definitely that, and like I said, there's also just, you know, learning different tips and tricks from different poets I've met, especially when I went to New York, right? So shout out to New York, Brooklyn.
Yeah, I love New York.
Here's the thing. I would have never imagined I would have went to New York 3 times in the span of a month, right? And I've never been there, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about it, right? So technically, the birthday tour technically kicked off in February, not March.
Mhm.
We're just gonna put it that way. But the week, what was that? The 20. Well, we left the 21st. If I'm 21st. We left that Wednesday. So it was me and my guy Mello, spoken word Mello, who's from Cleveland. Shout out to him as well. Fire poet, amazing. So we ended up, I ended up getting tickets because I initially, again, I'm used to driving by myself, right? I'm used to going solo dolo, whatever. But me and him started talking, and I was like, listen, I'm about to go see, Black Chakra at Voice and Power because I've been wanting to see this man. After I heard that whole NFL poem, I was like, I need to experience this in person, right? So he said he was down to, go and whatnot. So we stayed from that Wednesday we technically stayed till Sunday. We checked out Saturday night because we literally drove after we did the last open mic on Saturday, and we drove back that night. I was like, listen, I'm so glad I'm a passenger because I would have drove the next morning. That's my type time, but
right.
It was willing. I was like, listen, I ain't the driver.
I'm hopping on the road at night. I'm getting out of here. I'm waking up in my bed.
I mean, granted, yes, but bro, this is at 12:30 and we driving a 7.5 hour drive back. No, I can't. Not me. Like I could drive early in the morning. I could do that, but not overnight, bro. Especially after leaving the show. I'm not about to do that because I'm still riding that high from the show.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we drove all the way to Brooklyn. We did actually several open mics. So we first went to the Bronx and went to the spot there's this group called Art Defined. So they had like a little, open mic. It was pretty dope in some sort of like a theater type setting in a sense, like auditorium, whatever. So, but one of the features who goes by Symbolic Night, because I know I've met him, Jim in Jersey. So of course I had to go support him because he's a fire poet. He's just that amazing, and he calls himself the Metaphor King. Like when it comes to metaphors, bro, yeah, he crazy with them. So we did that, and then Thursday was the big, Voice and Power Day, and like I said, my goal, and this is what I encourage all the poets here, right? So if you don't know by now, Voice of Power is a raffle, right? So you get your ticket, go to the venue, and you have to get there by a specific time because they open up like the whole raffle thing. Put your name on, it's a random draw. So what I encourage my poet friends and whatnot, go for the experience. Don't go with the intention that you think you're going to get picked because that's gonna mess you up every time. So, go for the experience. I have a lot of fun every single time I go there. And guess what? For the first time that night, I went to see Black Chakra. Neither me nor Mello got to perform that night. So it's like, again, that's just kind of how it worked. So, but I was happy to be a spectator. Like I just wanted to, soak that knowledge. Just learning off of a great wordsmith like Black Chakra. Just like he went crazy. Like he went bananas, bro. Like, and then, and also what's even great, like what Mello was telling me, because I guess Mello met Black Chakra like sometime a while back in Baltimore, because that's where Chakra's from in the DMV. And I guess he went to his open mic spot, which is called Pure Poetry. Which I never got to check out or whatnot, but I guess from that point, like actually was, I think on the very last day we were in New York, we were like pretty much chilling before the last open mic, and then I heard, of course, Mello and Chakra was having this conversation. Of course, I'm just gonna keep quiet. I just wanted to listen, see kind of gem. Like he was dropping a lot of gems, mind you. Chakra was dropping gems for days. So I'm just like figuring out, write bits of notes down, like what could I use to incorporate into my poems and this, that, and the third. So, man, that was definitely one of my best weekends I've had in a minute until the actual 2 week tour, right? So, but yeah,
That's good, bro. You staying active, and that's one of the best parts of this new generation of poets. They getting out there and performing.
mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
They
listen,
they getting these poems off the notebook and into the mic. And I love that for poetry. I get excited seeing all these shows and watching the videos, and this is a great time for art right now.
and think about it. Now that poetry is getting recognized on the Grammys because there's a category for that, like you got to think. Essentially, they're gonna have to want us,
Mhm.
to obviously be this great. And like I said, for what Voices of Power is doing with this award show, like I think it's phenomenal.
Yeah, I
So
do too.
like I've never seen anything, let alone to be nominated. Like I'm grateful, and just honored to be, a part of something that's going to be, big for years to come. Because like I said, this is celebrating their 13-year anniversary. So just to pull out, oh, we about to, we got to give our flowers to these poets and all that. So all I can say is, I'm going there for the experience
Hmm.
first and foremost. Because obviously outside of the AJ McQueen headlining, there's going to be a few other poets that are going to have features, which includes, the host of Voice and Power. So I can't wait for that. That's about to be amazing. This other woman that I've been waiting to see perform for a while. Funny enough, she goes by, I think her name is like Sierra Chantel, if I'm pronouncing it right. But she had a poem, and I'm going to reshare it probably today because it's just one of those that really hit like home and whatnot. It's like just one of my favorites. I was like, you know what? I'm excited to like, and then on top of that, meeting other poets. There's gonna be other poets that I haven't met yet that are likely going to be there who's nominated. So it's just like the possibilities and everything. I mean, but of course, most of the poets that I already know I'm going to see there, but the rest of the ones that I haven't met yet, and just to know like I'm really among these nominees, and like
Right.
for myself, and then it's like, you know, the fact I can win it and bring it back home to Ohio is not only huge for me and how much I've done in what I consider a short time. Because 6 years, it might be long to people. I think it's short for my sake, because you got to think over half of those years, four out of those 6 years, I wasn't driving. So how was I able to even get my name out as much as I did last year in 2023 and currently? So I had to start here in Columbus and or other cities like Akron, Cleveland, Cincinnati, all of that. So before I could actually get to Philly and then go to Houston, DC, all of that. So yeah, I'm just, I'm doing my thing, and I'm appreciative, that people have been rocking with me for this time, because I'll be amazed at myself every single time.
You
That
definitely deserve it, bro.
oh, so
Yeah, you definitely deserve it. You put in the work, and I can see you at shows since I remember. It's been years,
listen,
and for us to see all the poets come up and see, people work on their craft, like
mm-hmm.
Columbus has a poetry family, whether it wants to admit it or not. And I think eventually we'll be doing reunion tours here with all the hitters coming out, and
Listen,
doing our old pieces.
exactly. I would love that though. I
Yeah,
think that
that'll
would
be
be.
hard. That'll be hard.
It would just be like it would be such a great time, like to merge all the OGs with, and get this right. And like I said, my goal, it may not happen for like what I want to do is, like I said, I want to bring out poets to go to a Voice of Power show one Saturday, because it's every first Saturday, every third Tuesday. Obviously, third Tuesday is not going to work for many people,
Right.
so hitting it on a weekend of that first Saturday, I want to get a good group of us. Because my thing is, again, it's a raffle, but if we bring enough, at least one or two of us might get to perform that night.
Right, absolutely.
Maybe. Like I said, it is a chance all of us doesn't. But
That'd
just think about, you got to just think of numbers though. Like, I don't like. My thing is, I could care less. I've been grateful to perform enough times already, including for my birthday. But I want to see other poets that I look up to, and just other up and coming poets shine. Like I think that's the most exciting thing. Whenever I go to these, and then on top of that, karaoke. So I don't know why randomly I'm getting into karaoke and just
karaoke's lit, bro.
Oh no, karaoke is definitely lit. Here's the thing, right? Right. Typically, I mean, depending on who's playing the song, right?
Yeah.
And I'm usually like on and off, could be garbage / I could do my shit and whatnot. When it comes to Voices of Powers karaoke, when I tell you that's a motherfucking vibe, like it is amazing.
Feel like you got a record deal up there.
Shoot, I wish. But like the one in Brooklyn, I did the two in Brooklyn, but Black Chakra's feature, me and Mello, we got up there and represented and whatnot. And then I did one on the 19th in Philly and got up on stage for that. And did the one in Brooklyn on the 20th. Like, bro, I'll be volunteering. It'd be a lot of fun though. Like, and then on top of that, the recent one when I was there on the 21st, bro, I almost lost my breath. Like I was so gassed.
What song was it?
It was so they typically do like I think the most of the ones I've been a part of, they done like R&B type music.
Okay.
They might sometimes do like early 2000s or whatever. Yeah. I think one night it was a mix of R&B and hip hop.
Oh, okay.
That was the one on the 19th. So I did Mrs. Officer, Lil Wayne. So and it's like I was like, just give me the mic. Like I know this song. But then there was a couple of others. Like one was just like he didn't know what he was singing, and it's like, listen, I'm gonna let y'all have at it because the whole point of the competition is the first person to hear what the DJ's playing, you have to be the first one to grab the mic and start singing. And people are gonna fight for the mic, and you got to think about it. You don't want to break it, and then you end up paying for it. So
exactly,
I was like, just give it here. And then what made me even mad when T-Pain I'm Sprung played, and I saw the dude that didn't know a word of the song. I was like, bro, give me the mic. I'm just like, do. I'm like, I could do the whole do. I'm like, you gonna tell me you don't know T-Pain? I'm Sprung. That is a classic. But no, it's fun, bro. Like I said, just again, I want people to, like I said, experience it in general. So, like, I know, shout out to my homie Will, who was up in Cleveland. I know he recently went to Cloud's feature, which was my birthday weekend. And mind you, Cloud is a phenomenal storyteller. Like, I met him last June, which is ironically, I met Mello. And I didn't know Mel was from Cleveland. I'm like, he met me in Philly. I'm like, wait. I was like, I'm not alone. I'm usually the only Ohio person at Voices of Power, but I'm like, I'm not alone. I feel great. But all three of us met that night, though, which was crazy.
That's funny.
And yeah, but like Cloud, though, like when I tell you, bro, his stories, like one of his poems, right? Which is where he's talking about this Chad person, like who is Chad? So like, basically goes through the story. The minute they posted the video or the reel on IG, because it gets on YouTube and all the other social media, not even 24 hours, he got 1 million views off of that poem.
Nice.
Like, and I think his is currently the highest right now. I think he's over 4 million. It's wild. So he ended up, and then he had a feature. Like I said, he had a feature at the beginning of March, and of course, he did like the part 2 because we still try to figure out who the heck Chad is. And I'm like, we gotta wait for a part 3, bro. What is this? I'm about to just start calling Chadwick. Like, who is this Chadwick person that we got to figure out? But like, yeah,
that's smart.
The talent, like I said, the talent wise, bro, is My God. So, but yeah, about this tour, right? I can start the tour a little bit. Um, so I left. So my tour was from March 8th through March 22nd.
Mm-hmm.
Initially, I was going to come back the 20th, but I stayed to do Voice of Power on the 21st. So we'll start off the day I left, right? I drove off of 1.5 hours of sleep. I'm crazy, right? More than likely. So I was getting, well, the reason why I was getting some edibles ready, I was doing like gummies and all that. So I could package up everything, make sure I have everything to take to go.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd take my roommate to work at 4 in the morning. And I was going to try to leave at 7. So it's like, I'm already like, don't have enough sleep in a sense. I tried to go back to sleep. That didn't work. And I didn't leave until 8:45 in the morning. The reason why I was trying to leave as early, after I get to my destination I was actually staying in Jersey rather. One of my poet friends, she allowed me to stay at her house for 2 weeks, which I was grateful for. Definitely, grateful for that, love and everything that was shown. And I get to her house, I want to say around a little after 5.
Mm-hmm.
Literally had to drop myself off, get back on the road to go to New York, which is another 2.5 hours.
Right.
So to make the open mic that I was going to support Lady Siren, because she had a feature out there, and it was like a couple of others. So we got there, a bit late as ever. Actually, you know what? I'll take that back. I think we technically got there at the start because they have like the 2 features and then what they call the budding poet of the month. I'm guessing like spotlight type artist. I don't know how it works, but we actually got that I think around the start. But either way, we needed to make it there so we could sign up on the list, which obviously we didn't make it there enough in time. So we got our spot. Funny enough, I was the last poet to go up, so they managed to get me on the stage since I, of course, traveled this far. And I did my one nasty poem. The sad juice of the lippy lips, all that. I'm not going to say the word. You should know the word. But I did that poem. And, of course, everybody's like, whoo. And I'm like, even one of the features who goes by Tony McPherson, I said some sort of line. He was like, man, I wish I could have thought of that. I was like, bro, after your phenomenal performance you did, I don't know how you couldn't think of that. But overall, like I said, it was a great time. Got to chop it up with a couple of, New York artists, all that's good stuff, and then left. Mind you, I almost fell asleep going back home or back to where I was supposed to stay. So imagine, you're only off for 1.5 hours sleep. You always take the Starbucks to get that espresso shot so you get that boost and not go to sleep. Because I was not about to take a Red Bull or a 5-hour energy drink. It wasn't that. Like I gave up on that, especially after I did the overnight shift years ago, and I crashed off of 5-hour energy. Nope, never again. So that was good. And then March 9th, which is day 2 of the tour, went to this dope ass poetry spot. 420 friendly. It was called Puff Poetry. So it's basically an open mic. They had spotlight performers, 420 vendors, all that. Now, initially, I was supposed to sell dip, but because venues got changed and there was not enough space, then I wasn't supposed to do. However, I kind of overstepped some boundaries, and I apologize wholeheartedly for that. I still brought my dip, only because one of the poets requested it. So I would have kept everything at the house and still made the show on time to do the open mic. So, of course, I get there late. Just out of my apologies and everything. But I will say, throughout that night, though, overall, mind you, I still got to perform because of the host. Like, the host showed love and got me on the stage. But I will say, out of that night, this one lady that I met, she does infused spices. So like seasoning salts, cinnamon sugars, all that. and she heard I did infused foods like dips and all that. So she actually gave me one of her bottles just because. And I was like, okay. It's like it's called like was like out of body psych experience. And I'm like, you know what? Imagine if I put this on my dips and
Yeah.
I'm already infusing it with the oil and all that. Now I got to put the seasonings. Oh yeah, this might be a hit. But overall that night, like I said, it was an amazing night. I will say this: one of the vendors, he had because I remembered him from last March, I believe. That's when I met him at this 420 like kickback type house. I guess he told me he was on shrooms, like took some boomers, and he noticed there was this white aura surrounding my body while I was performing. And I'm like, huh, this white aura. Like I get that people can read energy fields. I get that. So I'm like, obviously a white aura is something good because in my opinion, I'm shining light on, obviously people and all that good stuff. So I was like, that's an interesting uh
Yeah,
thing.
that's dope.
I was like, it was definitely interesting. I was like, okay, that means maybe that tells me something about myself, I guess. That, yeah, maybe I already know about, but I didn't think nothing of it. So Sunday, right? I slept the entire Sunday away. Yeah. Because imagine being tired from 14 and a half hours of driving on Friday to sleep the entire Sunday away. It was great, bro. Do you understand? Like I was gonna do two events that Ken Jones was hosting, which was like a bud and breakfast, and then there was like a cannabis and comedy show that another
Nice.
guy was hosting. I was gonna check those out. And then overall, let me rewind that back. Did you know I left to Philly and I had no bud? Do you understand how frustrating that was, sir? I went to a city for 2 weeks without bud of my own. Do you understand how frustrating that was?
Already know.
So here's the thing. I know where to find it when I go to Philly. That wasn't the issue, right? The issue is I wish I had my own because I only had literally 3 joints rolled the entire time until I got to the city. So good enough. I had my edibles. I had Cheez-Its and gummies and some brownies too that I made. I was like, shoot, this is about to get me through until I'm ready. But then I end up linking with my guy, Just Josh. So like I end up linking up with him, and then he ended up connecting me with his people. So I was like, ooh, well, I just got me another guy whenever I go back. So I ain't worried about it. But
blessing in disguise.
True, absolutely. Like I said, I could literally ask a lot of people because I know niggas that smoke. So it's like I could literally hit up anybody. Shoot, even my guy cousin Gary, phenomenal storyteller as well and poet. Like I was like, bro, like I already placed my order. It's on the way. But I know I could always go to my guy if I need it. So but yeah, I would have checked that out, but like I said, Sunday I was more so tired. Monday I didn't do nothing. Tuesday was a night of words. Shout out to my guy Life, acronym for love is for everyone. I think that's fire. Simple. So he hosts a show called A Night of Words. I went there, and that's when I did my Hooked on Poetics poem. And mind you, crazy enough, my guy, the Poet Bull, was actually there. So I was like, you know what? I got to do this poem and test it out. Because I'm like, that's where I got my inspiration a little bit from with that poem. And just talking about like how I'm doing these open mics. I will travel, as it feeds my addiction. And I feel great that people acknowledge my work. But then it's like, you want to count me out? Please proceed with caution. Because I will humble you so fast you'll be going back to Silent Hill. You don't want that. I just don't want to remind people of that. But like I said, overall, great night. Love the energy. Phenomenal. Wednesday and Thursday, I did. Actually, what did I do Wednesday? I think Wednesday and Thursday I didn't do nothing, but I feel like I did something. It wasn't like a show per se, but I might have like went and kicked it or something like that. Either way. But mainly Friday was the next part. which was Laugh the Pain Away.
Mm-hmm.
The place where the accident happened in July. But we passed that. We passed that because I parked by the venue, which I'm going to do forever now when I get there early. So I get there. I'm one of the featured poets and also sold my dip and edibles. So funny story, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ken Jones is getting ready to call me up because I'm the first one to go up to do the poetry. Introduction, as they do it, as him and Cousin Gary do it. Tell me why this old man just walked up to the stage and started spitting. I was like, your name is King Luche? Really? And I was just looking at Ken like, you see this? But the old dude was basically with someone else that was on the flyer. It was like more so his introduction / hype man to the person that was on the flyer. I was like, they said King Luche, right?
Right.
I was like, where did this come from? So they had to reintroduce me. And I guess they had to talk, outside of whatnot. I was just, doing my spiel. And then, of course, Ken wanted me to do specific poems and whatnot, even though I'll do whatever the fuck I want. But for the crowd, I'm going to do those specific poems that he requested. So, mind you, the only thing that kind of sucks in a sense, sometimes there'll be kids there and I'm doing an erotic piece. I feel bad all the time. Like if there's kids in the building and I have to do a nasty poem. But this is what Ken requested, so I'm just going to go and do my thing. That's it. And let it be done. But then, like I said, after poets go up, they usually do like a little comedy bit in between. Then you got a comedian that comes up. So you're literally laughing your pain away. So, and that's the basis of the show and whatnot.
Oh, sure.
So, but, and then 16th was another Pour Your Art Out phenomenal experience. Had a little spotlight performer that was performing that night, and I did my life poem. So, something simple that resonated with people. And now I will say this though, just to kind of rewind everything back. I will say shout out to this poet I met who goes by Smiles. I think it's like Andrea, because I don't want to mess up the name. I just call her Smiles. But she did a poem, right? So there was some stuff that happened before I left on my tour, like personal wise. Growing up, domestic violence in an abusive household. Here's some things, of course, that went down. And I got to the point where it's like, you know what? I'm fed up. And I started writing a poem dealing with, my pops. So I started that. I could have finished it before I went to Philly, but I didn't. I did finish it while I was in Philly, though, because Smiles, she did a poem out of Not a Words. And I think she also did that Pour Your Art Out, if I'm not mistaken. She basically talked about a letter to her parents. But of course, her mom, dad, but a good amount of the poem was towards her dad. And then that was like the very first poem that ever triggered me. Like I literally shed a tear after hearing that. Like I'm pretty good with handling certain triggers, but that one specifically is like, okay. I was like, you know what? I gotta finish this poem.
Yeah.
I gotta finish this poem. So I end up finishing it, I think, that Sunday, which is detailed poetry after Pour Your Art Out. And mind you, detail, again, a vibe. The venue I was at, I will say, was nice. Like it was definitely a different venue than the past two I went to. It was giving so much rooftop vibe energy. Like we go out on the patio, it was so nice and everything. Like I got it recorded on my snaps, but I haven't been using Snapchat lately. But essentially, I'll probably reshare it whenever I start sharing it again. But like it was a dope ass vibe. And mind you, DTL, they had a contest. It was a $500 contest for like the best open mic performer.
Oh,
right. That's why I was like, wait a minute. All I wanted to do was get my ticket to make sure I perform, because again, you have to buy your ticket, and then your spot is locked in. Because once those tickets are gone, then that's it. My spot. So I just wanted to get my ticket, But then right after, shout out to Trish, who's the curator. She had announced that there was this $500 contest. I was like, oh, now I got to figure out what to prepare. Because now, like, I'm talking, there's heavy hitters in this open mic. Like my guy Bars and some other fire poets. And then I'm like, I don't even know what to do. Why I get called up first? I was like, now this is like a slam. That's basically what I'm treating it as, a slam. Even though it's not a slam, it's whoever is the best open mic performer. What did I do? I was like, we about to have fun. I did a nasty poem. I didn't care. But I did an old erotic piece that I haven't done in a while. Like basically the straight up I want to fuck piece. I haven't done that shit in a minute. So I was like, I hope I remember it good. Man, when I tell you I killed it, but here's the thing. I threw a twist in there because if the people that know the Pussy Juice poem, they know I start off by saying I would like to start off my morning with a tall glass of pussy juice. The fuck piece is just goddamn I want to fuck. Simple as that. So I led on as if I was doing the pussy juice and then switched it and did the fuck. So I said, I like to start off my day by saying, God damn, I want to fuck. I just did something simple like that to switch it up. Because I'm like, most of y'all have not heard this poem, especially the people that I know.
Little remix.
That I've heard the pussy juice. Y'all haven't heard the fuck piece, really. So I was like, let me just throw that out to you. But, like I said, amazing vibes. The feature, shout out to my guy, Rich Flow. Phenomenal poet, MC too. He does music. Ironically, that's who I met last year on my birthday, right? At Voice and Power. He's the one that ended up grabbing my extra ticket when I went to go see Black Wildflower. So, of course, since then, stayed in touch and whatnot. So he featured at DTL, but then he also featured at Voice and Power that I went to see.
Okay.
So, feature set was fire, but there was also a collab, right? It was him and then my guy Mello Jones. Shout out to him as well. Like, in my opinion, and if Mello ever hears this, I'm just going to say it. He basically reminds me of Redman. He's like the Redman of poetry, but just like once you hear those bars, you just see why he's like that. Like he's just that gifted. So him and Red, or I'm about to say Red, him and Rich Flow, they did a collab piece together, and I'm just like, okay, where is this going? I'm just like, you know what? Fire. That's all I can say. And I gave him the name Mellow Flow. I'm like, that just fits. Like, I just wanted to give a simple group name. They redid it again on Voice and Power on that Tuesday. So, but yeah, that was pretty much went through Pour Your Heart Out, DTL. Monday was another break. Tuesday was Voice and Power, part 1. So I did the Philly John there. So again, phenomenal night. Karaoke wise, killed it. It was me and then my other, Pisces twin and sis and all that. Like I said, we shut it down. Like I said, Rich Flow did his thing. And like I said, that was another night. I didn't get picked, but just overall, the poets were motherfucking poeting. Like, they were going heavy that night. And then Wednesday, like I said, I would have came back home Wednesday. I wanted to so bad. Just because I knew Tiffany Marie had that feature at Higher Hookah. But then there was also that new open mic that Artistic Genius started that I have yet to go to.
Hey, I'm going to that next one.
Say Word Wednesdays. I'm going this month. Like, I'm pretty sure I have to. Like, what is the third Wednesday?
What week is the third Wednesday?
It is, if I'm not mistaken, it's the 17th.
No, I'm saying like that's what it is.
It's
third Wednesday.
It's April 17th. So I gotta mark myself down for that. So I can.
What's it called?
Say Word Wednesday. I could send you their page. I know
send me that if you can.
But yeah, like I said, Wednesday and then Thursday, I was like, oh gosh, let's do it again for Voice and Power. I even got there late, so, but overall, great night. Um, like feature or the feature, she was amazing. Um, but I actually got to perform on that stage that night.
Nice.
So I will say this: I did a poem. Actually did that in a brand new poem about my dad, and yeah, let's just say I had to hold it up there because I was about to cry on stage.
Mm-hmm.
After the poem, I went and cried in the bathroom for about 5 to 10 minutes. That's how personal I got with the poem.
You gotta let that kind of stuff out.
I do like it's a lot that I gotta unpack
Mm-hmm.
that I've been dealing with for over 20 years. So it felt good.
That's
Like
good.
I was gonna try to like once I got off the stage, I was gonna try to hold myself together.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then no, like, but I was to make sure my bro ended up who goes by King Quincy. Shout out to my guy there. He ended up recording the entire poem for me. So I have not posted it. I did a preview, but it's on my close friends list. So if you're not on that list, you can't see it. But if you
Mm-hmm.
are, then obviously you can see that preview. So I'm I'm holding on to it until I'm ready to share it. But of course, anytime you get an opportunity to bless the stage like Voices of Power, it goes on YouTube. So it's just a matter of whenever it happens, it happens. But like I said, literally after that performance, there was a lady that came up to me after the show. She stayed quiet the entire night, I guess, of the show, but came up to me and said how much my piece like meant to her and how much it, hit home. Because I guess she just recently left out of like a domestic violence and abusive relationship too. So
Mm-hmm.
I was like, damn, like that shit really hit home for people, and it hit home for a couple others too.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, my purpose with that poem, and I'm like trying to showcase more emotion a little bit in my poetry, because there's some poems like I have to like make you feel what I'm feeling, right? Like
Sure.
with those emotional draws and all that. So that entire poem, I was just mad and angry and pissed off. So I showcased that in parts where I knew I was going to showcase that anger. But I was just pretty much, like I said, I was just being my honest self. Like
Mm-hmm.
all the stuff that I've been dealing with for so many years. I just couldn't deal with that. Like, and it continues to happen. Like I said, if you don't take accountability for your actions, then you're gonna act like an ass of an addict, or rather a dick of a dictator. That's one of my bars, by the way. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, you're like you haven't shown me over the years as to you getting rid of that toxic behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I get it though, bipolar and whatnot. I get that, but it doesn't excuse the fact of how much you've put me and my siblings and my mother through. Like you
Mm-hmm.
put us through a lot of that. That's the exact reason why I be so hesitant to ask for help
Mm-hmm.
from them as well. Like mind you, it sucks when you don't got that support
Mm-hmm.
system and whatnot for your poetry. But at the same time, this is the reason why I travel. Right,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this whether I do it comfortably or I'm gonna do this with little to no money. And guess what? On that trip, I had some troubles.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't gonna hold you. Like I went out especially to figure out who and what to ask and whatnot. Like you know how I am, especially
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to like asking for help or if it's anything financial. So I just didn't want to be that bothersome. But at the end of the day, I was there for the experience um, overall, and then I just know that, like I said, somewhere down the line, my time's gonna come.
Mm-hmm.
Like in terms of getting on to the much more bigger stages and everything. So
Mm-hmm.
I know it's gonna come. But
Right.
like I said, it felt great. it felt great to get all of that off my chest. And my guy got to perform too. Like King Quincy, he's another fucking problem too. Like in the poetry game. But yeah, we did our thing. So yeah.
That's good to hear, man. I mean, that's exciting just hearing about a tour and you finding new opportunities and embracing them and seeing these new poets out there and they're just like, where do I start? We're paving that way for them, showing them like you gotta start by putting in the work. Start by finding a poet you love, going to support somebody that's out there who does this every week. Because they out there.
I mean, there's plenty of people out there. And mind you, like I said, the reason for my grind as it is, like I said, and this is probably something I might have said on the last episode we were on, but if not, I'm going to reinforce it. Like I said, Matt Capone, he did a live sometime last year because I was on it, about artist etiquette and what he looks for in booking artists. And of course, travel is part of that, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to have to sacrifice, a lot to, get your name much more recognized. So that's the reason why, like, I have the craziest buzz in Philly right now because of how many times I've visited, right? Mm-hmm. Even the poet pool, like we've had a discussion, it's great to take breaks, and I got to learn to start taking more breaks with myself. Mm-hmm. But it's kind of hard when you want to take a break, and then next thing you know it, one of your favorite hosts and whatnot is going to still call you up to perform. I'm like, guess what? I don't want to perform. I want to watch y'all do great. I need some inspiration. Like maybe I want some inspiration, and I don't want y'all to hear me do none of that. And on top of that, I'm like poetry. Y'all fibbing. So I'm gonna call y'all you fibbers. But like I said, he went over different tips and whatnot. And like I said, I just took it and ran with it. And like I said, fortunate enough, got to meet him a few times. Definitely down to earth, cool, funny. Be on it sometimes on his BS with his personality and all that. Not like bad, but just he be joking.
I know what you mean.
Like doing a lot of joking and shit. But like I said, and he's also somebody else. Like if I have questions, he even tell me to reach out to him, for anything. So of course I'll use that definitely as a resource,
right?
When it comes to things like that. But yeah. But like I said, everybody doesn't have the same grind as I do, which unfortunately sucks to be you. Just kidding. But like I said, I'm just a different type of animal, and my whole point is to go improve myself. I'm improving myself at every open mic I attend. It doesn't matter if it's here. Like, just because the majority of y'all know me in Columbus, if not the entire state, I'm still going to go out to somebody who has not heard me. There's going to always be one that does not know who King Luche is. There's always going to be one. So I have to prove myself to that one person that I know I'm the shit. And I do this poetry shit like it's nothing. So, yeah. Like I said, it's still compliments though, bro. Like, it's weird. Like, I'll never get over it. But...
Yeah, you never get used to that stuff because you're not doing it for that. So it's always a shock. Like, really?
Of course, I'm doing it for me.
And that's true artistry to me. That's somebody that does it for the craft. That's been lit, bro. That sounds like an amazing tour. I'm glad you're feeling a lot better, since that unfortunate event. But those things make us stronger. We bounce back with more resolve, more hunger. So what's something you want to leave the people with?
Let's see. Well, there's a couple of things.
Okay.
Talk about these last 2 days of part of my tour. So Saturday, that 23rd, I did my first slam in over a year. Shout out to Galaxy for putting it together in Detroit and all that. Definitely wonderful time. Unfortunately, I didn't make it past the first round, which is okay. What I'm starting to learn now with these slams is, like I said, I'm just going to go there just to perform my ass off. I'm not worried about the scores with the judges, whatnot. As long as I can make connections with other people, I've done my job.
That's what's
And
important. Bro.
one of the people there, which I believe he was the winner, that said this, who goes by Microphone Phelps. Like I say, at the end of the day, you are the prize. Like you got to remind yourself that you are the prize. Like y'all came to see me, hear me, speak my work and whatnot. Like none of that other stuff with the prizes, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. And then
Right.
that Sunday, shout out to my guy Brave Nate, which by the way, April 4th, this Thursday, Brave Nate and I will be in Toledo for the Poetry and Soul Session. Tickets are available on Eventbrite by clicking the link in my bio. If y'all down, if you want to sign up for the open mic list, hit up K Renee. She'll get you together. And yeah, hopefully y'all can come out. Didn't mean to do that promo in between. But either
No,
way,
that's all good.
the Sunday show, Brave Nate just put something together, brought us some poets out. Great time in Dayton. Definitely going to go back again. So I could, let them know about the Dip God and whatnot. But
And
however,
let me know when you hit up stuff like that. I'll definitely be down the road.
oh yeah. Oh no, I'm sure you were trying to go to Toledo on Thursday?
Possibly, yes, actually.
I'd like to say I have to be there by 7. So
Okay.
well, and I will say this is a unique open mic. I will say this. So the first time I went was to support my guy. Shout out to Live. Acronym for Life Isn't Very Easy. That's my guy, who's another phenomenal poet. But I went to support him in Toledo for his feature on the 29th of February. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, it should be like any other open mic. We get there, sign our name on the list. Or actually, you can sign your name up in advance. You just got to go to the event page. And then there's a post that the host put on there. You just kind of comment, and then they should get your name down. So that's kind of like how you sign up in the process. But I get there, mind you, it's a 2-hour drive. We got there like slightly late. It was me or Gina and I went, Gina Arthur. We both went up there. And of course, the host is looking for features. So I definitely made sure to put you on there with a bunch of other different poets to reach out to.
Okay.
But the crazy part about this, the features open the show. It's a different experience. Feature startup, and then it's the open mic. I've never been to something like that ever. I was like, that is interesting.
Maybe they trying to set the ambiance, set the vibe.
I don't know. Like I said, it's a great vibe because they also have their own, I guess like their house band or soul band. So like it's a vibe for sure.
Yeah, and
like,
if I drove 2 hours, I'm staying for the whole show.
Of course I did. That's exactly what I did. Like, and I get it though, because people, are only there for the feature, then they'll leave. But it's like, if I'm at the beginning, you might as well stay for the rest of the open mic and hear these performers go off. So we did get there, like, I think, pretty much got there slightly after 7, but we still got to see like the features and whatnot go on. And then afterwards, that's when I think after the features, I believe they do intermission and then the open mic. So it's like, pretty much features since they got their set, give time for people to give a break, and then they start the open mic, and then the show ends and all that. But like I said, overall, I like it for what it's worth.
I will vibe with it,
especially the vibe there. It's at this place called the Entrepreneurs Club, so it's a pretty dope looking venue and whatnot. Parking wise, it's just they do have a parking lot, but it's like you kind of have to get there early type shit if you want to really get a spot. Otherwise, it's pretty much street parking and whatnot. But
okay,
yeah, we just pretty much go there. I'll probably be leaving at like try to leave at 4:30. That's my goal.
Okay.
Try to leave, but just definitely remind me if you
I'm gonna hit you up. I'm gonna click the link and stuff, and
I'll send you the event page and all that.
Okay,
so, she's always looking for.
I'm getting back on the stage, man. I got a few pieces I'm working on. I'm about to come out swinging.
I listen. I'm at the baby barmender stage, right? So which like I said, shout out to my guy Bars, right? He came up with different tiers of poets, but it's based off of Pokemon. So instead of Charmander, you got Barmander, and you got Barmelian, Barizard. So there's these tiers of poets. Bro, it's hard as fuck. And I had to ask him if I could borrow that line because I'm writing a poem.
Yeah, that's hard.
That's a Pokemon theme. Like I basically calling myself a Poke Bar Master instead of a Pokemon Master.
Ooh,
I was like,
okay.
I have to use Barmander. This shit looks hard.
Yeah,
But
that's
basically,
hard.
and he asked people what they rank themselves in those tiers. I was like, you know what? I might not be a Barzard because I'm still growing and whatnot. But let me slap this Eviolite on a Charmander on a Barmander. You're not beating me. Because I know what number one, I know what Eviolite does. That boosts my defenses. And I don't have to evolve. Like I
Yeah,
will
you
take out a
straight.
Barzard with ease. Like I do not care of how great and phenomenal you are, Barzard, but I will come for you.
Ain't no fear, huh?
But I'm like I might be on the cusp of a Barbalian too, but
Okay.
I wouldn't consider that far. For to humble myself, I'm a Barmander.
Yeah,
Eviolite.
I should.
Stick it at that.
Hey,
But
you gonna get there, man.
I definitely am. Absolutely. Like I said, listen or meeting so many legends and other people that's been doing it for years, I got to.
Yeah, yeah.
But
You going about
yeah,
it the right way for sure.
oh yeah. But I will say this. Like I said, I have that show coming up in Toledo, April 4th. April 5th. I'm just gonna promote a lot of people's shit because
Hmm.
that's what I do as the most as well. I'm not gonna say it, as the most supportive poet, but I could say uncrowned. But I don't want to get too ahead of myself. Let me stop. But April 5th, I will say this: my guy Spoken Word Mellow has a very new open mic in Cleveland called the Impactful Pins. So I do plan on going to Cleveland Friday because I rocks with my guy and I support what he does. So feature of that night is Love Homie Will. So definitely another fire poet. So
Okay.
I figured I'm gonna drive to Cleveland. Mind you, I'm driving to Toledo on Thursday, so that's back to back driving. It's not the first time I've done that.
And that ain't bad in Ohio. Them trips
It
ain't that
it, it
bad.
isn't. I mean, there's 2 hours back and forth, but
Yeah.
with how my car has been lately, yeah. But we're just gonna leave it at that. But I plan on going to both of those shows that month. Let's see, April 12th
Hmm.
is Love Homie Will's show called People Love Poetry in Cleveland, which Mello's a feature for that. So after
Nice.
Mello features Love Homie Will, you go next Friday, Love Homie Will show, he's featuring Mello. So I plan on going to that as well. At least that's the goal, my schedule and everything. And then, of course, April 14th, come out to Queen the Street Poet, the Revival open mic. But we doing something different. It's basically a different open mic, which is the People Love Poetry, that's going to be taking over the Revival. So basically, if you can't make it to the show in Cleveland, Love Homie Will's going to bring his show to Columbus. And we're going to do it like that. So I plan on being there.
Oh, that's sweet.
I think it's a very dope concept. I'm
I'll
ready for
probably
that.
pull up for that too.
But that's how Wild Goose Creative, April 14th.
Stack my phone up.
Oh, and then 420, burn one. The
Right
Dip
back to
God
Wild Goose.
returns. Are y'all
Right
ready for
back
what
to
the
the
Dip God
dudes.
is about to bring? Are you ready for what the Dip God is about to bring to the table? I don't think y'all ready. Y'all not. I have no idea what dip I'm going to bring. It's going to be a surprise. More than likely, it's probably going to be my number one bestseller because I know how much niggas love buffalo chicken dip. But you ain't had my buffalo chicken dip. You haven't had the dip gods yet. Most of y'all
Look,
have, but not everybody.
Whatever you made me garlic parm was insane
Oh,
for my birthday.
You know what's crazy?
It was shrimp, garlic parm shrimp, dog.
Garlic parmesan. I did chicken. I gave you the chicken one. I did shrimp one. Did I do shrimp one year?
You did shrimp for me 1 year and chicken. You did chicken at speech therapy. You did shrimp when we did Chef Hyro.
I did do garlic parmesan shrimp. Oh my god!
Yeah, bro. Because you asked me what I want for my birthday.
Oh yeah,
I wasn't eating meat, and you did the shrimp.
Oh yeah.
It was
wasn't
crazy.
it? No, never mind. I was thinking of something different.
It was insane.
It definitely was. It's not on my menu anymore because I had to cut my menu down to 10 flavors.
Yeah.
But
I get that.
don't fret though. I mean, if you want a garlic parmesan shrimp, I can clearly.
I mean, that's a special request situation. They don't need that sauce. They gonna have to pay for it.
Well, considering the sauce, I got 20 different dip flavors because that's what the dip guy does. The reason why I cut it down to 10 is because I just wanted to make a much more concrete menu and just offer those 10 flavors. So the 10 flavors, I'm going to try my best to name them off because I'm so high right now. But it is buffalo chicken, barbecue chicken, rotel, Philly cheesesteak, or Cajun chicken Philly. I'm considering that under the same category. F y'all. Jalapeno popper, fried pickle, pepperoni pizza. I think I said chicken Alfredo already.
You did.
Spinach artichoke, I believe I didn't say.
Spinach artichoke look crazy.
Cajun shrimp, I know I didn't say. Ooh, and what is the last one? I have one more, but I can't remember that. I did my best, but I pretty much wanted to shrink them down, and so that way, whenever I do vending, y'all can pull up the menu. You should see what the price is based on what I'm offering. And the way to pull up the menu, you just scan my QR code. That takes you to my Popple business card. Find the vendor menu. Click on that. That's what the prices are. Without me telling you, but I'm going to tell you anyway because that's what a businessman does. We inform you.
Thorough.
That's the correct term. We inform you of what the price is. So, and then on top of that, I have a catering menu which is separate from the vendor menu because the vendor menu is based off of what dip I decide to bring. And then the catering is what you guys want me to make and get your personal size. So I changed it up to where you're just going to pay per pan, basically, like the 8x8 size. However, I did change the rules on deposit. So if you're only getting one, I need all the money up front. I will not cook nothing until you pay me up front. Period. And no, if people know me, I'm about my business. So I'm going to make sure you have it. And I'm going to remind you on what day you want me to make it and or drop it off. So I know about that. But if you get two or more, then you can pay half up front, which is non-refundable. Plus delivery fee if you need it. Actually, plus delivery, plus rush fee. Play with me if you want to, people. I told you 2 weeks. 2 weeks is enough time to tell me when you need it. If you want to be under that, I will charge you $50 extra, which that's part of your deposit. Play with me if you want to. Regardless of and if you get one by itself, oh yeah, I'm coming after y'all. Don't be mad at me. Be mad at the messenger, which is not me.
They be all right.
But yeah. So yeah, basically, like I said, 420. I'm also back into doing edibles, right? Like I said, it's been over a year since I've sold dip in Columbus and or sold edibles, right? So as I was experimenting before I went on my birthday tour, I made some s'mores cookies. Let me tell you. Do you understand how giddy I was when I made these cookies? I was like, I saw this on TikTok, like how they do basically assemble it like it's a s'more. And then you do the cookie dough and just put it all over the whole s'more and let it bake like that. I was like, ooh. And I got my own can of oil too. Oh, it's lit. So I just made it from scratch, put it all over this thing, and just let that bake. And I was like, damn, this is a big ass cookie. Oh, and I use can of sugar too, right? I was like, oh yeah, we double infusing this shit. Oh yeah.
It's lit.
This is about to be lit. Oh, nigga, that got me fucked up. Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that on 420.
I was about to say, like, I'm gonna do my best.
Yeah.
I'll hold myself accountable if I don't make it. But my plan, gummies are always gonna be one of my top sellers outside of brownies. So I plan on having gummies, Cheez-Its, chips. And chips, niggas are sleeping on chips. I don't know why. You niggas are sleeping. I mean, I will say this. I think I only sold maybe one bag of chips out of the time I've made them. Which I think I started last year anyway, last 420. Because I did a event out in Philly. Because I bought the Grippos, the Flamin' Hot Cheetos, Doritos, all of that. With the Cheez-Its too. So I think I only sold like one bag out of that. But guess what? I'm bringing them to 420.
Hey.
So guess what? You niggas want Grippos? Do y'all want them infused? Holla at me. I got y'all. I'll
Turn up.
definitely have Cheez-Its. Cheez-Its will get you pretty lit and all that. So we're gonna have that. Gummies for sure. Um, I plan on doing cookies and brownies. Um, and then here's the tough part, right? As I'm preparing for this event, I gotta realize how many motherfuckers is gonna be there, right? So
Mm-hmm.
then I have to project how many edibles to make, right? So when it comes to like the baked goods, I want to make enough, right, of the brownies and the cookies to sell to people. But then it's like I got gummies, right? Which I know gummies are always gonna be a popular hit. And I
Yeah,
was like, you know what? I'm just gonna make hella gummies. So I feel like them shits is gonna fly off like crazy.
yeah. Gummies
And then
go.
it's like if I don't make enough cookies and brownies and then I sell out, then niggas gonna be mad at me. And then I don't want that.
Hey, but then they could place orders.
Exactly. And on top of that, I do not know your tolerance levels. So, ladies
Mm-hmm.
and gents, please eat accordingly and carefully because I will not be responsible if you have an episode. Oh, let me show you this crazy story, right? Oh
Mm-hmm.
my God. And like I said, I've heard some crazy stories, but there was this one that my guy told me in I think this is in Philly that apparently like somebody had sold edibles or whatnot way back when. This person ate one of those. I think ate a full, and it had to be I want to say rushed to the hospital. But he get this though, they were already drinking too, like drinking alcohol. Like
Mm-hmm.
first off, you just added on to that, bro.
Yeah,
Like like and I
mixing
guess at that
chemicals.
point they didn't want nobody doing any more like edible treats at like the venue. When I'm like, and I get it, but I'm like, and on top of that, you were young. You're
Yeah,
young and you're drinking alcohol, like wine, all that stuff. Plus, you want to eat edible. Come on, bro.
you ain't
Like,
built like that
speak
yet.
up for yourself. So, but that's why I said, like, people, please
Yeah, be
take
careful.
risk. Like, because I do
Yeah,
not.
we gonna be preaching education and caution at the event too. We're gonna be, showing people how to be responsible because we're gonna have little psychedelic vibes too. You hear what I'm saying? So this is all about the education and not so much the entertainment of it.
True. And that's why I'm excited for it. And of course, my sister's wedding too. It's about to be a vibe.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Have a
lit.
tea out. Like, oh,
Yeah,
wait, man.
it's gonna be a lit. It's gonna be a lit situation.
It's about to be great. Even
Yes,
though we
sir.
can't smoke inside the Goose Creative, I'm about to be super lit outside.
Oh, we got some custom made teepees like the Indians that we gonna be inside there chiefing, dog.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be a festival.
I was about to say,
I'm
I mean, we
thinking
go because we're
Woodstock.
outside too. So it's
Yeah,
like
we got the whole outside on lock too. It's gonna be every inch is gonna be utilized.
I'm trying to figure out how early I want to get there though. Because I know the indoor doesn't start till like 7 in the evening, but
Yeah,
it's like,
because we're gonna be doing music in there. That's what we doing the infused food.
yeah.
It's gonna be vendors in there too. You know what I mean? So yeah, outdoor gonna be all day,
And
just
on top of
utilizing
that,
that weather.
and the one thing I will say, because I don't want to just stick to infused dips. I know there's gonna be people that don't smoke, so I have to cater to that crowd too.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
got
but I'm gonna try to do my best to be heavy on the infused shit, especially with buffalo chicken. I make enough buffalo chicken enough to know how many pans I'm about to have, so I'm not too worried about that. The question is what second dip I'm gonna bring. That is the mystery.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Put it to a vote.
I could do my I could do two of my most popular favorites, which is Philly cheesesteak and buffalo chicken. But also spinach artichoke is a slapper.
I love that spinach artichoke,
Spinach
bro.
artichoke, the non-meatless one, that's always a slapper. Shoot, jalapeno popper is a slept on dip.
Yeah, I don't think I
Jalapeno
had
popper is
that one
very
yet.
slapped up.
I'm gonna
I
have to
mean,
get that one.
it's very simple to make. Like, it's just think of it as a jalapeno popper. Like, what is in a jalapeno popper? Now, depending on who you go to, some will be cheddar filled, some will be cream cheese filled.
I do cream cheese.
With oh no, I mean, well, basically, well, all of my dips are cream cheese based anyway. But the one I make it, I add cheddar cheese, which, like I
Okay,
said,
so it's both.
that's Yeah, you technically get both anyway. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
but it's like the simple fact that a lot of them cheddar poppers with the cheddar cheese, like, but it still slaps though. I just haven't
Oh
made it.
yeah.
I just haven't made it in a long time because, like I said, people don't think to request jalapeno popper. Shoot, Muff was way back on his when he did his something for her to play album release party. He was like the one nigga that randomly requested pepperoni pizza. I was like,
that sounds good though.
that's random as fuck. It is. I just don't make it that much because not a lot of people request it. However, though,
yeah,
what I am gonna do with pepperoni pizza, like I can technically do another. I can do any pizza dip. So say if you want supreme, then I could add sausage, mushroom, green peppers, all of that into a dip. So it's primarily pepperoni pizza, but think about it. Yeah. If you want me to turn a certain pizza into a dip, all I have to do is pretty much do that and then add pizza sauce. That's it. Or if you do like, what is it? I know certain pizzas have like maybe Alfredo base or barbecue base. I can do that too. But I probably will do primarily a pizza sauce base. So, but yeah, there are definitely plenty of options out there. So, like I said, I'm excited. And then, like I said, April. Oh, and on top of that, National Poetry Month. Shout out to all the fire poets, including Good Life Russ here, because I don't know if I qualify myself as that. I'm just a man figuring out if words and phrases together make sense. I got to figure that out.
Yeah.
I don't know if that qualifies me as a poet. A man trying to figure out how to put words and phrases together to make it make sense. I'm studying.
Yeah. It might. I think it might.
It might, though. I'll be confusing people too. So I'm like, you know what? But April 25th is the big one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is the award show.
Mm-hmm.
Voice and Power presents Poets Going Poet, World Cafe Live. I don't know what time it ends, but I know the ceremony starts at 7.
Okay.
But we get there, but we can go at 6 if we wanted to, like, I guess, dine in and eat.
Yeah.
Because they do like early arrival for attendees.
Catch a little vibe real quick.
And on top of that, there's gonna be like an orange carpet and all that. I'm like, first of all, it's giving off Grammy-esque, bro. That's why I said, like, I wish somebody can go with me. Like, so I don't be alone, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Like when I tell you Luche is about to be the sharpest dressed Luche, out on that motherfucking carpet and everything.
You worked hard for this.
Like, I'm thrilled and excited for this event. And like I said, to be a nominated poet, that's that you can't take away from me.
Yeah.
You can't take that away from me. I'm a nominated poet officially.
And the first of many, man.
First
of many.
I was about to say, like, I mean, these Grammy winning poets and these Emmy winning poets like JG and all that, like, that's what I'm saying. I just be looking up to those peers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, just want to be great. But my God, like, imagine taking that home to Columbus, the inaugural Most Supportive Poet Award. One, I already know I'm gonna cry. It's definitely happening. I'm about to be the ugliest face nigga up there, bro. Like, number one, they announced my name, and the winner of the Most Supportive Poet is. I'm just gonna hold my head down like this. Bro, I don't care who sits next to me. I'm just holding my head down. Like, if they announce my name, that's when the tears come down, bro. I already know it's gonna happen. And then I'll be like, like, I'm trying to do my ugliest face. Like,
yeah, don't ugly cry.
Ugliest.
Do that offset.
Bro, on top of that, I'm gonna be hugging random people that I probably haven't that might be sitting next to me, unless it's people that I fuck with in the poetry community. I'm like, Lex! Like, I'm just gonna be crying. But yeah, like I said, I'm happy for all the nominees.
That's dope.
Like, this is about to be a big deal for the poetry community. And I encourage everybody else to go out there, do your thing. And like I said, the votes were based off of 2023 alone. Like, I guess performance-wise, which I was thinking about performances anywhere. I didn't know if it was specifically tailored to Voice and Power performances, but I think it's performances throughout just 2023.
Nice.
It started off with open nominations. Like, all I know is I already know what category I wanted. Because my thing is my name is on there, in my opinion, just being as humble and respectful. And, I feel like I earned that. But at the end of the day, like I said, it's not up to me. It's up to the universe to declare King Luche as the most supportive poet. And then on top of that, like I said, do I have to remind people that AJ McQueen is headlining? Wouldn't y'all want to get y'all's tickets for that anyway? Why wouldn't you want to get a ticket, bro? Like, why? Tickets are still on sale. They're going to sell out because that's what Voice of Power does. They're going to sell out. But I'm just encouraging people, though. But it would be dope if somebody could accompany me. Like, if I had a dope date to go with, it'd be nice. But, that's what the single life is for. Ladies. Hey, ladies, I want you to date me and then me, okay? I just want to say that out there. But don't mind me, bro.
Trying to drop. Tell them where to find you at. How can they get a hold of you?
So, and I'm going to shout out to the homie J Smooth. I have to, borrow her infamous line where you can follow me anywhere but home, which is fire. So, but I'm kidding. Like I said, I love my homie J Smooth. But you can follow me on all social media. That is King Luche, KingLuche. That is on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, fucking X, because what the fuck is that? It's Twitter. Threads, because Threads is basically the new Twitter. You can also follow my business page, The Dip God. That is TheDipGod. All social media, all that as well. But like I said, I have a lot of stuff coming up. Shout out to my team, Dysfunctional Poets. I love y'all. Queen the Street Poet, Bear with the pen, Be the Poet, Bubbles, Wild Thornberry, Sabrina Faith, Prince the Poet, and yours truly, because I love myself, King Luche. You're on the squad out here. But also, I do have, and like I said, we are still in the midst of this. I just got to link up, make some calls and moves. But the plan is that your boy will still be hosting his very own open mic in the summertime.
Nice.
Called Catch These Vibes. So, I know April's about to be here. I know we're 2 months away. It's okay, people. I'm trying my best out here because I've done so much traveling. But the plan is to still go ahead and do this motherfucking thing. So, the tentative date of the launch is June 15th, which that is a Saturday. Third Saturday to be exact. The goal is to be every third Saturday of the month. I already got my very first feature lined up for that day. Who is it? Motherfucker, you're going to find out when I make the flyer. Okay? But we are going to stick with that. Hopefully, like I said, everything comes down the line. I got my little, I've been pretty much working on my structure of how I want to run the show. So that's pretty much what I've been working on. I just got to get the venue locked up, which I'm going to talk to the owner of Savor. That's where we plan on having it, is the Savor Bar and Grill. So get that shit locked up. Flyer will be coming, of course, soon. Still got to get a few people. You want to help me, bro? If you're free, it's gonna be on the third Saturday. Definitely gonna need some help running the show. So, especially somebody to keep my anxiety in check. It'll be lovely.
Yeah, if I'm free for sure, you already know I'm gonna be there.
Of course. So, with that being settled, like I said, that is the plan. Catch These Vibes. Y'all asked for me to host a show, and well, damn it. Looks like I'm hosting a motherfucking show.
Here we go.
But yeah, I think it's going to be a great time. Summer's about to be lit. Feature-wise, 40 shows. It's about to be dope. And really, honestly, excuse me, after this award show,
Mm-hmm.
I should be done with traveling for a bit.
Take a little break.
But knowing me, not something random's gonna come up. However, the
Yes.
focus is my show. So honestly, after the award show, and then once I get everything set up for the launch in June, the focus is gonna be on my show because like now, I mean, travel wise, like yeah, there might be something going on in Philly, LA, all that, but I also have to be responsible as a host, as a new and learning and upcoming host to show out for the people and
Mm-hmm.
to bring in, people that are new to poetry, vets and all that. We got to bring people together and just fellowship. So,
I
like I
agree.
said, I'm excited for this journey um, that's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's, bruh,
Yeah,
like you
it's gonna
understand
be a
2024
vibe.
is about to be phenomenal. It's
Mm-hmm.
about to be a phenomenal type of year. So,
Yes,
like I
sir.
said, I love y'all black. I definitely love everybody that's been supporting me.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I'll do what I can to support y'all. Sure. Whether that means showing up for an event, sharing a flyer, something along the lines, just remind me. Like my DMs
Mm-hmm.
are open.
Facts.
Just don't be sending me no, abusive / crazy, text message type things. Just send me a flyer. Something like that. I don't need no crazy interactions with you. I just want to share.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I
Mm-hmm.
said, as my duty, as being the most supportive poet, I have to do that and
Mm-hmm.
showcase that I'm there for y'all. Even though I'm not physically there, spiritually, I am
I
there with
sure.
you.
And that's the best kind sometimes.
Right. Oh no, it's
Hey,
amazing.
this has
Spiritually, oh,
been
I can
yeah.
make it.
This has been great, man. I really enjoyed catching up with you. I loved hearing about your tour and seeing everything you got going. Y'all be on the lookout. King Luche, man. All the events he's got. And if he ain't gonna be there, he's showing you the events that's happening. It's so much happening in the city. Venture out from your comfort zone. I'm telling you, it's gonna change your life.
Oh yeah. I mean, and that's what you really have to do, people. So, like I
Mm-hmm.
said, what I've learned, and like I said, from the same live I was on with Macabone, there are people that want to do poetry as a hobby, and then there's
Mm-hmm.
also people that want to pursue this as their passion and want to get paid off of this. So I'm technically on the latter part of it. I would love to learn, different tips and tricks of how to monetize your poetry and all that. Um, so that's the reason why I've been going so hard as
Yeah.
to traveling and get my name out there. Like, how they going to book me? They don't know who King Luche is. Like,
Right.
how they going to know who I am when I go to New York, or who I am when I go to DC? Maybe to do chart poetry one day. Who I am, LA, blah blah blah. Unless, like I said, word of mouth. Yes, word of mouth is a tool, but it has to be in the right, you know, people that are going to put out that good word. Oh, and also shout out to the OGs, right? Definitely shout out to some of the OGs I've met. The George Lees, JGs, hey, or Cool Katie Yano. Like just a lot of the OGs that I know, and this is because peers have been telling me that the OGs have been keeping an eye on me on terms of my travels and how I've been doing. Means a lot. So
Mm-hmm.
it definitely does. Apparently, I'm doing something good
Mm-hmm.
um, in their eyes and whatnot. And I guess a lot of people, maybe they're seeing me as, this next poet that can literally, I don't want to say be the face per se, but like someone who could really take this poetry thing to like the next level. Especially, like I said, got a lot of younger up and coming
Mm-hmm.
artists that people are going to be graduating high school that maybe want to pursue this and just being that person, that
That's
beacon of
real.
light. So that's definitely my goal. And then on top of that, if you think my poetry is trash, please tell me, please.
Mm-hmm.
Like I understand it though. Like I know some people may not resonate with my poetry, and I'm okay with that. That's why I be self-conscious and self-sensitive in a sense about my poetry, and I want to do what's best to try to improve. But at the same time, I've also learned that poetry is subjective. So,
Right.
which is a poem that I'm doing, by the way. Turn the word respect into an acronym. Why? Because I'm the acronymical acrobat. That's what I do. So respect equals realize every single poem earns critical time. So what I mean by that is you're gonna get this motherfucking poem and you're just gonna respect that. That's all I gotta say.
That's
So
right.
all I'm saying is, isn't poetry subjective to the subjects that can accept or reject the message? Is there a science behind it? As long as the math is math, I'm about to repeat myself. But I find it funny that poetry is supposed to be subjective to the subjects that can either accept or reject the message. Is there a science behind it? If my math is math, then history says that my reading and writing skills have continuously improved. I was like, ooh, look at me using subjects from school. I'm a phenomenal person, guy. Like I'll be like, ooh, that's a knee slapper. Woo! I was like, is that where my poetry comes from? My imagination and my creativity? I told you, I'll be amazed myself every time I write.
That's good.
But then I hear somebody like Bars or like all these other great poets and everything that's really been, mastering and all that. And I'm like, you know what? One day,
Mm-hmm.
my Bars is gonna chop all those bars up, sir. One of these days. Like I'll be so ready, but then it's like they're gonna come up with something better and just burn the rest of everything. I'm like, listen, and I thought my shit was good, and then you just have to come with a fucking like a fire blast, freaking whatever, and just torch my shit. I'm like, bro. But that is the reason why poetry is very subjective. So number one, you can't be in competition with anybody. You're in competition with yourself. So at the end of the day, if you want to prove to yourself that you belong with these people up there, prove that pen. Go out, go to different open mics, study different things of what they would do. Listen to music. I always listen to music. A lot of my inspiration comes from music. When I write and everything, like especially if something sparks up to a song that I'm hearing, I'll go through and like write and everything. So, but yeah, like I said, I love being a poet, right? If I could call myself that, but I love that. So, like I said, 2007, bro, and I would have never thought 17 years later that I would be here, being this phenomenal of a poet, though. But I love it.
Yeah, that good manifesting. I love it too.
Manifest. Woo! AJ McQueen. Hey, listen to that. I love no dead ass though. Like it's a great song. Like just because I would play it and then it's like, damn, AJ McQueen is really speaking to my soul right now. Like literally, I manifested everything that came about, bro. I said I was gonna be nominated for the most supportive poet, and what happened? I'm nominated for that shit. Like I said, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if I win or lose. I'm winning. Like again, especially out of people in our age group specifically, who could say that they're a nominated poet and or award winning in our age group? Probably not many. Probably not many of us. Like, of course, Queen with their amazing award win from People Love Poetry. There's probably a couple others that have done it too, but it's like, again, what's that motivation for y'all? What does that look like? Do you want to, like I said, do you really want to do what it takes to make sure your name is out there and recognized out there? Or, like I said, a lot of people just do this for their therapy. And like I said, poetry is my therapy. But I know I could reach a greater audience too. Like a much greater audience with my work. And one of my goals this year as well has been to be a lot more vulnerable. Uh, a lot of people think I could, or I wouldn't say a lot of people. There may be some that think I can just stick to an erotic poem, and that's not the case, right? So I've proven that over time. But like, just the reason why I say more vulnerable pieces lately is because I haven't performed a lot of those. Like I said, outside of the new very new poem I just did on Voice of Power in Brooklyn,
Mm-hmm.
like about my pops and all that, like I haven't done a lot of vulnerability. So I got my depression poem. That's another one of my favorites, the undefeated piece. This one poem I'm definitely about to work on and trying to master it again, which is called Emotional Roller Coaster. So like I believe this came off a prompt, if I'm not mistaken, where it said talk about like the core categories of emotions. Because they're like specific core categories. I know there's a lot of emotions. There's plenty of them. But we're talking about the actual categories. Like one of them being joy, fear, anger, sadness, like basically those type of core. So what I'm doing, like I said, I want to work on my performances as well, like actually, feeling the poem and just being one within it. So like what I was doing is because I start off with anger, I'm going to start off like I'm angry. So like just anger. Is it a range banshee with like, but just show that anger. And then when I get to the next part of the emotion, then I'm going to switch it up. So like the next one
Mm-hmm.
is fear, right? Like feeling from a wrath unleashed by a dragon knight clashing with a garchomp, causing earthquakes, have you, and then just tremble in fear. Like I'm trying to like I want to really encompass that a little bit. And honestly, I think it's a good poem. Like I haven't said it in a while. I know I've performed it. Like every poem that I've put in my phone, I've performed at least once. But now that I'm looking back and saying, what, and then this is something that Tiffany Marie taught me too a little bit. Shout outs to her being a great mentor and OG peer to me. So like learning how to master those poems and everything. So
Mm-hmm.
like I'm going back and looking at a lot of my old work and seeing like, could I bring that poem like to today? Because a lot of people may have not heard this just because I haven't talked about it a lot. And then just, you know, work on that emotional aspect. Because like I said, I think Emotional Roller Coaster is gonna be a good poem for those. Um, outside of my life poem, which now I've been saying my life poem a lot more, just because I said it online at this open mic called Deja Vu Spoken Word. The host, Miss Kim, shout out to her. She goes by Treating You Sweet, who's a baker. I did the poem, and she's like, you know what? You just got to continue to say those poems, like, because somebody needs to hear that. Somebody out there needs to hear that type of stuff. So I was like, you know what? You're right. So I'm going to start incorporating my life poem into that, like my favorite pieces to perform. Even just looking at the crowd, like I get it. I could perform pieces that'll cater towards the crowd that I know that'll get them rocking. But also a part of me wants to just do a poem, whatever the fuck I want to do, like whatever's on my mind, right? Like it could even be the biggest of crowd, and like yes, you expect an erotic piece, maybe, but what if I want to get personal? I gotta take that risk. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I'm excited to see what comes up. I'm definitely working on some new material. I am also a big announcement. I am working on a second book, my guy. So
Nice.
it is in the process. There's no set date. I have a title. It's called Acronymical Acrobatics. So again, as the acronymical acrobat, all the poems that are going to be in this book, the titles are going to be acronyms. That makes it eating, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I got at least a good 10 or more of acronym poems. I don't know how many I'm going to add total. It could be broken down into a series, maybe, just depending on how long, you know, each page fills up once I, go through and edit and format and all that. So, but yeah, definitely be on the lookout because, like I said, I'm the acronym. Actually, someone called me the acronym king. I mean, I'll take that. I love it. But I'll just call myself an acrobat. That's why I said acrobatics, acronymical acrobatics, because that's what an acronymical acrobat does.
Mm-hmm.
we just do that. So,
Sure,
you know,
that sounds dope.
yeah. So some of your favorites like "Ain't That a Bitch," because "bitch" is an acronym that contains it, or it's just going to be a simple acronym title like "Life," which my version is "Life is Forever Eternal."
Mm.
So that's literally what the title's going to be. Now, granted, I don't know how I'm going to set this up because I could literally give y'all acronyms and none of y'all going to know what that stands for unless you've heard the poem. But I might set it up to where if you want to know what it stands for, maybe at the end of the book, it'll break down what each acronym stands for.
Mm.
So I'll figure it out once I construct that. But that definitely be on the
Yeah,
lookout.
we'll be looking out for sure. But yeah, it was great sitting with you, bro. It was a great conversation. Thanks for letting us know everything you got going on coming up.
Yes, sir.
Um, yeah, that's a wrap. I'll let y'all know when the next show's coming up. Look out for 420. Look out for all the poetry shows. This has been dope, man. I'm excited to see y'all back at the stage. Hey, make sure y'all being you.
Yes.
Message of the day.
At the end of the day, there's only one you. Like I
Yeah.
said, if you like never again, I'm gonna reinforce this. Never compare yourself to any of those people. Like I said, there's only one you, there's only one King Luche, there's only one good life rest. So at the end of the day, we're doing what we love to do as poets, as entrepreneurs, all of that. So, in order to, become what you want to become, always, challenge yourself. That's what we do every day. We challenge our pens. We challenge the way we think and how we go about things. So, you know, like I said, start doing that a little bit more. Because, like I said, you're wonderful and you're amazing. And I hope you think I'm the same way. If not, I'll cry in the car, but don't worry about me. I still love you, Black. So,
Okay.
but yeah,
All right, y'all.
it's been phenomenal. I love this.
Yeah. Same, bro. It's good seeing you again. Good talking to you. All right,
Absolutely.
y'all. Peace.
Peace, peace. Catch y'all.